Hello, everyone. This is a very special session with Rahbar TV. My name is Dr. Usman Mustafa. I'm interventional cardiologist in the United States. We're going to talk about something which is very, very important for all the public information. This is about the heart itself. We're going to talk about briefly about the structure of the heart, some of the functions, and about how one can get heart attack and how to prevent it. So please listen to this carefully. These are very, very important information, and hopefully it can save some of the lives as well. So this is the heart. Although this model is a little bit smaller, but in effect, the heart size itself is approximately the size of your fist. So if you make your fist the size is approximately that's the size of your own heart. The heart has four chambers. We call them the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, and left ventricle. And then obviously the main heart is just simply a pump which takes the blood from the all over the body, which is the dirty or desaturated blood, and it comes to the right side of the heart, which is being pumped into the pulmonary artery, which goes into the lung. The blood gets clean and nice with oxygenation, and then comes back at the left atrium, and then coming into the left ventricle, and then being pushed out of the aorta. So this is a simple structure in terms of how the blood actually hemodynamically goes inside and outside. But then there are mainly four doors which actually control the blood flow itself. And you have here we call it mitral valve on the left side between left atrium and left ventricle. And on the right side, we have right atrium and the right ventricle. There is a tricuspid valve. And then to actually monitor the blood flow and to control it, we have on the right side is called pulmonic valve, which goes to the control the blood to the pulmonary artery, and then we have an aortic valve, which controls the blood flow between the left ventricle and the aorta itself. Like everything else in the body, the heart has its own blood supply, because without blood supply, no organ in the body can actually move or do its function properly. So, like to show you the what we call coronary arteries. The coronary arteries are obviously the right coronary artery is on the right side of the heart, and then you have the anterior descending artery here, which comes to the front of the heart, and then the one which goes to the back is the circumflex. Uh, it's very important to understand the functionality of the heart, the way heart works. Uh, it's Most of the body gets the blood flow with the pumping of the heart. The Each pumping of the heart actually gives approximately 70 cc of the blood, which is being pushed out of uh, to the left ventricle as well as the right ventricle. And within a minute, you can have up to 5 liters of blood actually being pumped from the left side of the heart, from the left ventricle itself. And you can imagine with the 5 liter in 1 minute, and then you can say in about an hour it's about 300 liters, and without us even knowing. So you can imagine in 24 hours, and then in a month, and then a year. So if average person lives, say, 70 to 80 years without stopping, this actually pumps a huge amount of blood all around the body and keeps us alive. And this is one of the crucial organs. If the heart stops, everything stops. So this is why it's so crucial for us to understand how it works and how you can prevent the heart attack. Now, this is a very important information is coming up now. Many people have this misconception about the heart attack itself. What is heart attack? Heart attack actually is the arteries which we just mentioned. One of these arteries, if it gets clogged due to any reason, the vessels are obviously very, very small, between 2 to 3 millimeters. And if they have a plaque, which is like a blockage inside the vessel wall itself. If that plaque ruptures, or you have rarely a part of the blood clot coming from the other part of the body, coming through these small vessels, and they clog it. As soon as the vessel is clogged, the area beyond that vessel cannot get the enough blood supply, and that leads to damage to that area of the muscle, and that leads to the heart attack. For us as an interventional cardiologist, this is our job to make sure that we unclog that area with a balloon and a stent and ultimately restore the blood flow. And if we are successful in restoring the blood flow, that actually relieves the pain and avoids any damage to the heart muscle. So far, God forbid, if the muscle in the heart actually gets damaged, there is no cure. You cannot regrow that muscle, and that heart is damaged. Luckily, small little heart attacks does not cause any significant impact on the heart function itself. But if you have a significant or major muscle of, especially of the left ventricle or the right ventricle itself, is damaged, then certainly you go into a situation called heart failure. And this is very important, that once you get into heart failure, unless you really take care of it properly, you're going to have a very miserable life, unable to work, and the fatigue level will be huge, and you will not be able to do things which a normal person can do. So what causes the heart attack? What causes that plaque, which actually leads to the blockage of that artery? There are numerous reasons why a plaque formation happens, but certainly the number one, obviously, is a family history. So if somebody in your family has a history of a heart attack, your father, your mother, your brothers, or your sisters, then there is a high likelihood that you will have acquired those genes. So it's very important to make sure that you take care of yourself in terms of the risk factors. So the risk factors which we can have a control are following. If you're diabetic, control your sugar very, very carefully. Also, if you're a smoker, please stop smoking, because obviously, apart from the fact that you're burning your money, the other problem is that you are going to cause atheroma and scarring and the tissue itself of the wall of the coronary arteries, and that will lead to heart attack. So you're a smoker, you're diabetic, you have high blood pressure, and some of these are the three most important reasons why people will get a heart attack. And obviously, you want to prevent that happening, because as long as you have these risk factors, you are obviously prone to get a heart attack. So what are the symptoms of heart attack? Most of the time, many people are lucky that they will have symptoms of leading chest tightness when they walk or do any activity, unusual shortness of breath, or feeling sweaty. So if you have any of these symptoms while you're walking, then certainly something is wrong, and you should get checked quite quickly. And actual heart attack, 70 to 80% people, majority of people will get squeezing, severe chest pain, leading to sweating, which we call diaphoresis, feeling very lethargic and calm, lethargic, and that's one of the indications that there is something major is happening. You're feeling extremely dizzy. In women, mostly the symptoms are shortness of breath or extreme fatigue, and in that case, you should call your 911 in the US, and many other countries. You can call your local EMS, and they should come and help you. Certainly, if you have aspirin at home and you don't have any bleeding issues, certainly you should take your couple of baby aspirins right away. And this have some impact on making sure that that artery, which is now clogged, will have a little bit of blood flow later. But ultimately, you will need a conclusive treatment. So I hope the video was successful. Make sure you take care of yourself, and stop smoking and control the other risk factors. Thank you so much.